Wilson. Trustee Mary Jane Sanchez Fulton.
Present.
Trustee Yant.
Present.
Trustee Stefan.
Present. At this time, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could have Trustee Yant, please lead us in that.
Ready? Please begin.
At this time, we will have the swearing in of trustees. We'll start with Aurora Wilson, and I will be swearing her in with the assistance of President Kinnaman. Thank you. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
At this time, we will have the swearing in of our newest trustee, Ruben Ariazatlan Perez. I'm sorry if I didn't do a good job. And we will have Riverside County Supervisor V. Manuel Perez do the first swearing in for him, please.
Thank you. Can I invite as well his mother and his
Certainly.
grandparents?
Yes, you may.
Can we do
Would-
that?
Do you
can we
want
do
it
that
for
here?
the flag, or do you want it out
Can
here?
we do that here, please?
Okay.
That way we can all pay.
Oh, my goodness.
We're gonna do this in both English as well as in Spanish. We'll start with English first. Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear,
I do solemnly swear,
state your name,
Ruben Perez,
that I will support
that I will support
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will,
and that I will,
well and faithfully,
well and faithfully,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Okay, we're gonna try this.
Oh,
So
good.
bear with me.
Very good.
Bear with me. Yo, state your name.
Yo, Rubén Pérez,
Juro solemnemente
juro solemnemente
que apoyaré
apoyaré
y defenderé
y defenderé
la Constitución
la Constitución
de los Estados Unidos
de los Estados Unidos
contra todos los enemigos
contra todos los enemigos
extranjeros
extranjeros
y nacionales,
y nacionales,
que soportaré
que soportaré
verdadera
verdadera
fe
fe
y lealtad
y lealtad
a la misma,
a la misma,
que tomo
que tomo
esta obligación
esa obligación
libremente,
libremente,
sin ninguna
sin ninguna
reserva mental
reserva mental
o propósito
o propósito
de evasión,
de evasión,
y que cumpliré
y que cumpliré
bien
bien
y fielmente
y fielmente
los deberes
los deberes
de la oficina
de la oficina
en la que
en la que
estoy por ingresar.
estoy por ingresar.
Y así que,
Y así que,
ayúdame Dios.
ayúdame Dios.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Did an excellent job.
Great deal.
We'd like to congratulate our newest trustee.
That was tough.
And do we want to take a few minutes here, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to take about a 5-minute recess right now for photos, things like that, that people might want to take. So we're going to take a 5-minute recess, and then we'll come back at 9:41. See you. If I could have everyone take their seats. We're a little bit past time here. If everyone could take their seats, we will be taking a break in a few more minutes here. If I could have everybody take their seats, we've gone past our recess time, and we need to reconvene to get the meeting back on track.
Hit the gavel again.
If everyone could take their seats, please. We will be going into closed session approximately 10 o'clock, so if I could everybody take their seats, we will have another recess very shortly. At this time, we will have the reorganization for the 2019 election of the Governing Board of Officers. And for this, I am going to turn the microphone over for a few minutes to President Kinnaman.
Thank you. At this time, we will be moving to our chairperson position. Trustee Stefan will now be the board chair. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. At this time, we will now move to the vice chairperson. These positions are rotated, and Trustee Yount will now be the board vice chair. Congratulations. And the next position is that of the clerk, and Trustee Sanchez Fulton will now be the board clerk. Congratulations. The one position that does not change is that of secretary. President Kinnaman will remain as secretary. Congratulations. I don't
know, I
think
was
he
like,
thinks that's an honor. You know,
Am I
it's a lot
chopped
of
liver
work.
or what? It's like,
And we appreciate the fact that you have Julia to help you. So, thank you. We now move to committees outside of the rotation of the Board of Officers, which calls for a nomination and a vote by the board. First, we have the liaison for the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. Do I have any nominations for the liaison of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee? This is the liaison for the Bond Oversight Committee. This is the one that Fred has been doing.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Fred Yount to continue in that role.
All right. We have a nomination for Fred Yount for the chair. Do I have any other nominations? Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Fred Yount be the chair or be the liaison to the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. Is there any discussion?
I think this is a wonderful position. Fred Yount, just for everyone, used to serve as a volunteer for the Citizen Bond Oversight. I think he's done a fabulous job keeping us abreast on the people's money for our Bond Oversight Committee. So this is a perfect opportunity that we continue the great work that we serve the people of the Coachella Valley with our bond. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, Student Trustee Ramont.
Aye.
And this is an advisory vote for the public that doesn't know, okay? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion has carried unanimously. Now for the liaison to the county committee. Do I have a nomination for the liaison for the county committee?
I nominate Trustee Perez.
Trustee Perez has been nominated for the position of the liaison to the county committee. Are there any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'd like to make mention that this is the committee we usually put our new trustees on, in case you're wondering.
Fair enough.
And the reason is it gives them an oversight into the county operations of the boards, all right? So that's why we do that. They do have a couple of meetings. One is an election, and we like to be kept abreast of what's going on with that, okay? Is there any other discussion? Seeing no other discussion, student trustee Ramont, your advisory vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion has carried unanimously. Next, we have Board of Trustees for the Desert Financing Corporation for the New Market Tax Credit. And do I have a nomination for the Board of Trustees for the Desert Financing Corporation for the New Market Tax Credit?
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate trustee Sanchez Fulton.
Okay, trustee Sanchez Fulton has been nominated for the position of Board of Trustees for the Desert Financing Corporation of the New Market Tax Credit as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, is there any discussion? Trustee Sanchez Fulton, you've been on this before. Would you like to make a few comments about what you do on this committee? No? President Kinnaman, can you give us basically what the gist of this committee is?
Sure. The New Market Tax Credit is a organization that was put together whenever we got the tax credits for Indio development, and so there are funds that that body oversees.
Okay, and this is our representation to that board.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Okay, is there any other discussion? Seeing none, student trustee Vermont, your advisory vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried unanimously. The next one is liaison to auxiliaries. And do I have a nomination for the auxiliary liaison?
I'd like to nominate trustee Wilson.
Second. For trustee Wilson?
It's been moved and seconded. Trustee Wilson for the liaison to the auxiliary. Are there any other nominations? If there are none, is there any discussion? Some of you might note that we changed this to auxiliary liaison and not just one of our auxiliaries. That way we feel we have better representation. So this is kind of a new route for us to go. So student, is there any other discussion?
Madam Chair, just wanted to add, I've really enjoyed being in the role, serving with the foundation, and look forward to continuing that capacity and also expanding, it sounds like. Thank you.
Okay, student trustee Ramont,
Aye.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. And then the last thing is Carlos Maldonado. I hope you will remain as our parliamentarian. Doesn't mean I'm going to look at those cards ever. I never look that way. I always go this way. So, might have to move your seat. All right, going on. Agenda. Pursuant to the Government Code, Section 54954.2B2, the board may take action on items of business not appearing on the posted agenda upon a determination by a two-thirds vote of the board, or if less than two-thirds of the members are present, a unanimous vote of those present. That there is a need to take immediate action and that the need for action came to the attention of the local agency subsequent to the agenda being posted as specified. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the agenda for December 14th, 2018?
Yes, there's a correction to consent item 17.05, out-of-state travel. Julia will be distributing those.
Alrighty, thank you. And I believe these are on the table in the back as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
Wow, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I need to have a motion for this, Carlos. Or is it just automatic? That's for a motion. Okay, we're amending the motion, so we are adding this, so it's the agenda as corrected. Can I have a motion to that, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we amend the agenda and then confirm it at the same time. Can we do that?
So
Yep.
you're actually just making, your question, I think, is better posed if you say, are there any objections to accepting this?
Amendment.
As amended.
As amended,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. So if there's no objection, do I need to take a vote, though?
No, if you ask if there are no objections.
If there are
then
no
you-
objections to confirming the agenda as corrected, are there any?
Amended, isn't it?
Amended, I'm sorry. Amended. It says corrected on this. So it's amended. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the agenda stands confirmed as amended or corrected. Minutes. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the regular meeting minutes of September 21st, 2018? If there are no corrections to the minutes, they stand approved as presented. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the regular meeting minutes of October 19th, 2018? If there are no corrections to the minutes, they stand approved as presented. Approval of minutes. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the regular meeting minutes of November 14th, 2018? If there are no corrections to the minutes, they stand approved as presented. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the special meeting minutes of November 26th? If there are no corrections to the minutes, they stand approved as presented. Now, at this time, we will have comments from the public. Persons who wish to speak to the board on any item not already on the agenda may do so at this time. There is a time limit of 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic, unless further time is granted by the board. Your comments will be timed, and you will be asked to stop speaking when the timer sounds. This time limit will be doubled for members of the public utilizing a translator to ensure the non-English speaker receives the same opportunity to directly address the board, unless simultaneous translation equipment is used. Please understand, the board welcomes your comments, but we are not able to respond. And do we have any requests? Well, I'm looking these over very quickly. Let me say there's a little box up there. If you're a public and you go to the microphone, we do appreciate your comments, and we have a little sweet treat in there if you would like one. Okay? So first off, we have Mr. Melendez, AKA Wally. If you would please come to the microphone.
Good morning, everybody. Board of Trustees. Congratulations, Ruben Perez. I had a meeting with your dad one time, and I forgot it, and I just saw him, and I didn't know who he was. and he wanted to shake hands, and I said, I can't shake hands with you, man, because I got a cold. And he just walked away. Okay. I'm Boy Melendez, and I'm happy to see you all. And there's a subject that I bring up every time, and in fact, I'm making that subject probably the only subject that I want to address within my 3 minutes. And that is a 4-year college. I was talking to a young girl this morning, and I was trying to get some feedback on my idea. And I said, well, I asked her if this was her first semester, and she said yes. And I said, well, this is your first semester. Do you realize that in this college you're just going to get an associate's degree? And she said, well, yeah. I said, well, do you realize that a lot of people, or a lot of employers, they want to hire somebody with a bachelor's degree, and not somebody with an associate's degree. And she gave me like a blank look, and I said, and she said, and so I'm drawing the conversation from her, and she said, well, I want to transfer, and I noticed that she dwelt on the word transfer. And I said, who told you that? And she said, well, 2 years, then you transfer. I said, well, where are you from? She said, well, I'm from the Coachella Valley, born and bred. I said, well, that's great. Did you know that the College of the Desert is synonymous with the Coachella Valley? This is the only, it's synonymous. There's other campuses from other schools, from other universities, but the COD is synonymous with the Coachella Valley. And she said, well, yeah, that's true. I said, well, would you be in favor of getting your bachelor's degree from the College of the Desert? And she said, well, yes, I would. And so I'm trying to get this information from the young students here. I noticed I'm going to be 74 years old in February, and I've been to a number of colleges, and I was in the military, I was in the Army, and I got 14 seconds. And what I noticed is that these kids coming from high school, they're like in shock. Well, I'm in college. Well, you're just a freshman, man. You're just a freshman. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we will hear from Steve Hernandez. Thank you, Steve.
Good morning and happy holidays. Thank you, Madam President, for the opportunity to speak, as well as trustees. Ruben Perez, congratulations on your election and being seated here at this prestige institution. Steve Hernandez, I'm the mayor of the city of Coachella. I want to just take a moment and thank the staff and all of you for working with the city to bring COD to the city of Coachella. As you know, we've built a beautiful library, and we built a beautiful library with some classrooms in it, and they're designed at your specific dimensions. So we are looking forward to the collaboration, the partnership, and we believe it's just the beginning of what could be a very advantageous relationship, not only for the city, but for the College of the Desert, as well as the Coachella Valley Adult School. There is a huge need out in the eastern end of the Coachella Valley. I know all of you are aware of that. And, we are here to work. We are here to collaborate. We are here to get creative on how we can do things together. And so I just wanted to come up here and say thank you, because I got to get going, and I know you have a long agenda. And we look forward to working with all of you, and on behalf of our residents, we thank you for working with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there are no other slips for public comments, so I'm assuming there is no one else that would like to speak at this time. At this time, the board will now recess to close session from 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m., and then the board will reconvene session at 11 a.m. Thank you.
That was right on time.
For the report of action taken, there was no action taken. And then we go into public updates. And
Yes,
Dr. Kinnaman.
just very briefly, because I know we have several study sessions. I want to first congratulate our new trustee. Congratulations. You're official, and we look forward to working with you. Also, I just want to wish everybody a wonderful holiday season and take time to just be in the moment with your family and your loved ones. That's all I have.
Thank you. And at this time, introduction of new employees.
We have no new employees to introduce.
There's a first for all things. Isn't that incredible? Okay, at this time, we'll go in, move right into reports here. Thank you. We'll start with the Associated Students of College of the Desert. And yes, please step forward. I believe I have a card and a package for you.
The two, oh, Madam
There should
Chair.
be 2 cards on that. No, I'm sorry. I gave you a package earlier. Oh, I gave it to you.
Thank you so much.
And there
Don't worry
is,
about it.
in the mailbox, if you open the mailbox, there's something sweet.
Oh my.
Oh, the mailbox.
Oh man.
The mailbox.
This
The mailbox.
The mailbox.
The mailbox.
So many boxes.
I know there's just
can't-
boxes everywhere.
I know. I was like,
And don't start his time until he gets his sweet treat and swallows
I know.
it.
so many boxes, so many sweets. I love it. Thank you so
Arturo,
much.
did you get, okay, that was also yours.
Yeah, I also got it. Thank you so much, Trustee Sanchez. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year's to all you members, board members, president, and vice presidents. So this month has been, we just finished finals, so it's been a little bit kind of stressful in a way, a different kind of stress, and we've been trying to have our members trained. And that's one of our goals, that we want to have this winter break. We want to have our members be able to be trained for their positions, and also to be able to be ready for any committee meetings that they have. And we just hope that we are prepared for the spring semester. We hope to provide more events for the students, such as a bigger club rush, a better elections for the next coming in ASCON members, and we want to have a bigger turnout than ever before. And that's one of the objectives that I had since the beginning of becoming president of ASCON. And I was also able to attend the family night, and it was amazing seeing a lot of especially Desert Hot Springs students that I grew up with. It was great, and seeing them come to College of Desert, and me getting be able to be acquainted with them once again, telling them that College of Desert is a great school for them. It's a great choice for them. So it was a great experience, and and even though it was raining, it was still a success. So it was great. Also, I just want to congratulate the new trustee on behalf of the student body and the student council. And so we welcome you. And I know that when I was a student trustee last year, my whole family came. So seeing your whole family come and everybody, it kind of brought, it just reminded me that Hispanic families are a great, it's amazing to have they all show up, and it's amazing. So other than that, there's nothing else I have to report. But I just want to hope that you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's, filled with joy, and friends, and just loved ones together. Thank you very much. And thank you for all the gifts.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll move into the California School Employees Association, CSEA. Do we have their representative here? He's not here. He was here earlier. We'll make sure he receives his due from the table. And then College of the Desert Adjunct Association. We have a representative, I believe. Hello, David. Good morning, everyone. And I think I got your name right. So look for everything.
This is so festive. So, CODA would like to extend a warm welcome to Ruben Perez to the Board of Trustees, and we wish him well in his service to the district. We also welcome Trustee Wilson to her new term on the board also. As 2018 comes to a close, we would like to highlight some of the recent accomplishments made by our adjuncts in their service to the college and the community. Adjunct Andrea Spencer is the faculty advisor to the COD Student Activists Club. They've been busy the last couple of weeks holding fundraisers for 3 splinter groups, the first of which is called Come Home, and they distributed boxes on campus for the Find Food Bank. The second is called California Climate Change, and they had a booth that sold chips to raise money for recent wildfire victims to be distributed through the Red Cross. And the third is a group called For the Kids, who sold hot chocolate last week in front of the Beeps Cafe to raise money for a group that aids children in immigration detention centers. The Living Desert Scholarship Fund, co-founded and chaired by adjunct faculty member Steve Fuchs, awarded a record-setting $40,000 in scholarships for the 2018-19 academic year. Anthropology adjunct Ariane Schultz has been selected and awarded with competitive funding to participate in 2 Cal State San Bernardino training development programs. One will be in the winter, called the Teaching Institute Project-Based Learning, and in the spring, the Association of College and University Educators are offering a course in effective teaching practices. Upon completion, she will receive a certificate in effective college instruction, and she plans on implementing project-based learning in her COD classes. Adjuncts Anthony Alvarado Cantu and Vanessa Potter are assistant tutorial coordinators at the Tutoring and Academic Skills Center. This past Saturday, they planned and hosted the task's first Study Jam, a weekend event for students to prepare for finals. Students had the opportunity to work with tutors, form study groups, and receive general academic support for their exams. Students were greeted with stress relief ping pong games, music, and snacks. Around 100 students attended the event, and many remarked how appreciative they were for a place to study on campus the weekend before finals. Adjuncts Whitney Shaw and Karen Fliss volunteered to judge the speech tournaments sponsored each semester by the Communication Studies Department. The tournament gives students the opportunity to hone their public speaking skills in a friendly, competitive setting and to win cash prizes. What is not in my written report to you is something that I only learned about yesterday, and it was brought to my attention by an adjunct instructor, Tony Bacal, and a co-worker of hers, another adjunct, whose name I don't see here on this big announcement. Where it's on the second page. Kevin Lyons. And they are adjuncts who work with the radio station, KCOD. I don't know if you heard this news yet, but once again, KCOD was nominated for the best community college radio station in the nation, along with several other nominations, which I won't bother reading now because it's a long list. But the radio station is just doing a smashing job, and I just want to inform you of that in case you didn't know. So these examples are just some of the many ways that our adjuncts go above and beyond their classroom responsibilities and serve our college community. And CODA would like to wish everybody happy holidays and a very happy new year in 2019.
And a very happy new year to you and happy holidays. And we thank the adjunct. Please get your cards, your little gift, and
One of these?
yes,
Oh.
and there should be a card there. I think.
Yeah,
with your
yeah,
name.
thank you.
No, another card, white one.
You have a
Two.
white
Oh,
one
should
and
be
a
two.
we one,
Oh my,
We
David.
have 2 colors, just like
What-
my walker, 2
this
colors.
is an embarrassment of riches.
And then there should be something for you in the mailbox, something sweet that you can take with you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and there's something else I wanted to say. I want to thank you also for your written report. I appreciate that. And just so the board members know, there is a written report on your table from CODA. Okay. Okay, the next group that will be presenting for us is College of the Desert Faculty Association, CODFA. I don't know if that's how you say it or not. Denise Diamond. And thank you in advance for the written report. Ho, ho, ho. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just now. That's okay. It would be nice.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, certainly on behalf of all the faculty and College of the Desert Faculty Association, CODFA, we want to wish everyone, your families and your loved ones, a very healthy and joyous holiday season. Okay? Feliz Navidad, Prospero Año Nuevo. As this semester ends, I would like to thank you, all of you, for your hard work and dedication on behalf of the students, the faculty, and our community. We all need to continue to work collaboratively as we face new state funding formula, as I look at John, and new state leadership. We really appreciate working together on guided pathways as a very important funding source and student success model for the college. Bargaining will continue in the spring, and our next meeting is actually in January before the semester begins. We have some challenges to meet with contract language, health and welfare, and compensation. We continue to be concerned about the expenditure from the general fund of the EDD program, which only benefits a few of the faculty. We don't, a lot of our colleagues are in the EDD program. It's not about denying them that opportunity. It's about the equity factor. It's only a small group, and we're a much larger faculty than that, and it's almost $1 million. Work experience will undergo major changes, and we appreciate the communication with VP Baker in making those changes transparent. Thank you so much to the faculty. And that will satisfy a grievance that was filed. CODFA is waiting for a document from the VP's office regarding those substantive changes. Much appreciation goes out to faculty member Michelle Richards, who has been the work experience coordinator for 18 years, and upon your approval, will voluntarily be reassigned to teaching full-time. But we want to thank her for her commitment to that program all these years. She's actually the only COD faculty who has ever been in that position. It was with a very heavy heart that I attended and spoke at Tony Manzoni's Celebration of Life ceremony. The students and community members who honored him spoke with heartfelt memories of their coach, their friend, and their mentor. It is my great hope that the golf management program is revitalized. And some thanks to, many thanks actually, to Dr. David George, who put together an excellent analysis that has been shared with administration and should be taken into very careful consideration about what is the dynamics going on with this program. Our history and traditions in the community are essential to who we are. On a more joyful note, our CODFA holiday party was last night, and we celebrated Steve Dostal's 33 years of service as a coach and math faculty. He went home with a Nerf ball and a tool set because he doesn't know quite what he might be doing in retirement. So I figured Karen, his partner and wife that he met here at COD, would have a honey-do list. So we got him a little, belt with lots of little tools that he can work with. Anyway, just being silly. We congratulate Dr. Veronica Doubt, Dr. Brian Futanakis, and Corbin Voyu on achieving tenure upon your board approval. We're very excited to have these wonderful colleagues on board. They're very, very talented, and we're very lucky. We have much to celebrate, and we have much to reflect upon as we move gently forward into 2019. Thank you.
Thank you. And there's 2 cards, a package, and a sweet treat in that mailbox.
A sweet treat in the mailbox. You have to open the mailbox? I have to call my brother. He's the local mailman. Oh my gosh, is that the cutest thing ever?
Yeah, you could take it out yourself.
It really is very cute. Thank you so much. That's charming. Okay, I'm going to close the mailbox for the next person. They can enjoy
Oh, put the
opening.
flag up so they know there's something in
Oh.
it. That's important for them to know.
tell you
Thank you.
The protocol of mailboxes.
See,
Anymore.
when you
I
just
know.
taught elementary school for a couple years, then you get into this habit of stuff. Drives the continuation high school kids nuts, too. At this time, if there's no objection from the board, I'd like to go back to CSEA for their report. I believe we have a representative here. Lillian? Liliana.
Yes.
Liliana.
Thank you. I apologize for being late. I was on the phone with one of our students trying to register this morning. So good morning, Board of Trustees, Dr. Kinnaman, and everyone else here. CSEA would like to welcome Ruben Perez, our newest trustee. We are looking forward to working with you and, of course, the rest of the board in the new year. We'd like to thank trustees John and Wilson for coming to our holiday party last Friday. It was great to see you there, and we appreciate you guys coming down and celebrating 50 years of our chapter's existence here at College of the Desert. And I'm just going to keep it really brief since I am late, but we did meet for negotiations yesterday. We think it was pretty good, and we're looking forward to meeting again with the district on January 8th. And we want to wish everyone a wonderful holiday break and onward to the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. And there are 2 cards there for your group and a package and something in the mailbox. That's kind of sweet.
We got it earlier. Oh, you got it?
Okay, that's great. Let's see, moving on down. And you didn't have to rush. You still were allowed 5 minutes, okay? Okay, Academic Senate. Dr. Carl Farmer, please.
Can I have her minutes so she can?
Well, I want to thank you for the written report. Thank you so much.
All right, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. I would like to especially welcome our new trustee, Ruben Perez. I look forward to meeting with Trustee Perez and discussing some ways we maybe can improve our services to the students in the Eastern Coachella Valley. Along these lines, adjunct faculty Alan Hurt and I have been participating in the Salton Sea Roundtable for the last few months, where we've been discussing some of the potential impacts of the Salton Sea, especially those due to the decreasing water level in the exposed playa. We're looking to ways to further scientific research, as well as a very important one, increase community awareness. This group consists of folks from Cal State University, San Bernardino, UC Riverside, the Salton Sea Authority, the local Audubon Society, Univision, and other community members. Hopefully, I will have more to report on this in future board reports. On a side note, our 9th internship will be starting right after the first of the year, with 17 very talented students participating in some hands-on research projects, some which will focus on the Salton Sea. I would like to extend an invitation right now to everyone to attend their final oral presentation that will be January 25th from 3 to 5 p.m. in the MSTC building. As Denise just did, I would like to recognize one of our longtime faculty members who is retiring after 33 years, Steve Dostal. Steve has been a faculty in the math department as well as serving as head coach and also as assistant coach in football for many years. I would like to thank Steve on behalf of the faculty for his years of service and congratulate him on his retirement and wish him the best. I would also like to thank one of our newer faculty members for going above and beyond the normal faculty responsibilities. This is only an example that I'm aware of, and I really report this to you because I know what happens across campus, and maybe we don't always recognize all of those. For the faculty to go that extra mile, as I like to put it. Chemistry faculty member Robert Gwynn has been meeting regularly with his organic chemistry class in the Mesa Center on Saturdays and Sundays during most of the semester, which has enabled other Mesa students to utilize this space to study on the weekends with fellow classmates and prepare for tests and everything. This has been a very big help for Mesa students, and I definitely appreciate his efforts to help our STEM majors at COD. And while I'm at it, I would like to recognize our faculty and their efforts outside of the classroom. As of right now, we've, since the beginning of this academic year, we've had faculty assigned on 27 hiring committees that include 85 different, well, not necessarily different faculty, but 85 faculty positions, I guess we could say. And 29 Senate and campus committees have met during the fall semester. That includes over 200 faculty. I'd like to thank all of our faculty for their service on these committees. I would like to conclude today with a quote from one of our very successful students who is currently attending a 4-year school now that came to my attention through an evaluation report submitted to the National Science Foundation for one of our grants that we have in partnership with Cal State San Bernardino. While this quote describes the student's interaction with me, I think it could be a quote from or by many of our students about our faculty, and I believe it best describes why we faculty are here. Quote, one of the things for me is Dr. Farmer really made everything just seem so doable. It went from being, I don't know how I'm ever going to get there, to I know exactly where I'm going. My mom went to college, but she didn't get her associates, so I had no one. I had no idea how the university system worked, how applications work. And so having someone who's like, hey, you know, you should really look in this direction. You should do this or do that. It made everything a reality. And I would also like to take this opportunity to wish everyone happy holidays and happy new year. And I look forward to seeing everybody next year. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'd
Okay.
like to wish you a happy
Card,
holidays as
card,
well. You have
and-
card,
And a bag?
package, a package, yes.
bag, okay.
And something out of the
And
mailbox,
something in the mailbox.
please. Ooh.
Oh, wait, how many can I take? No, I'm kidding.
Come back at the end of the meeting. I
I was
obviously
just gonna
don't
take
need
the whole
it,
mailbox
right?
after I saw what was in it, no.
I already look like Santa
Thank you very
Claus
much.
in the tummy. All righty, and moving on, Auxiliary College of the Desert Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Foundation Board of Directors and the Foundation staff, we'd like to welcome and congratulate Trustee Perez. We're very excited to have you on the board. We are also excited and delighted, and congratulations, Trustee Wilson. And we are delighted that you've been appointed as the liaison to the auxiliaries. We appreciate your continuing leadership. And Dr. Steffen, we congratulate you on your appointment as chairman of this august board. I'd like to acknowledge Vice President Neary on the success of the Parents' Night program. It was absolutely outstanding and a wonderful, innovative way to engage the members of our community in the life of the college. I know a number of the board members were able to attend the nursing pinning ceremony yesterday. Prior to the event, we were able to host a number of our donors to the college's nursing program, and our foundation board president, Bill Chenowitz, was able to present each of our graduating student nurses with a stethoscope that's branded with the College of the Desert logo on it, so that they can take that with them into the beginning of their new professional careers. That's our update, and we wish all of you a happy holiday and look forward to working with you in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. And please take your cards and your package and your, if you look in the mailbox, there'll be something.
Awesome. I can see your leadership is already having a sweetening impact
Well,
on the
I wish
institution.
those sweet things were really real. For our new trustee, I have this thing where I like to buy $1 million and $1 billion bars, you know?
Sure.
But they, you know, I don't have that kind of money, so they don't get the real thing, but get something sweet. Okay. Okay, moving on. We will go to the governing board. Student trustee Ramont.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to welcome you, Trustee Perez. I'm looking forward to serving with you. All right, this month has been a pretty busy one. We're approaching the end of the fall semester, and so everyone's getting wrapped up, or they've already finished with their finals. I still have one on Monday, so I'm going to be pulling out my hair this afternoon working on that. At the end of November, I made my applications to some Cal States and to some University of Californias with the help of our illustrious Transfer Center counselor, Scott Cooper. His help is really wonderful. There was a lot of students in there to try to get their last minute stuff squared away. It was good. Yeah, so I had a really cool opportunity to perform at the CCLC conference. I saw some of you here, and some of the vice presidents there as well. Our jazz combos have been very busy. There's been other performances in addition to that as well, including the final concert, which was very well attended. I also performed with the concert band, which was also very well attended. I'm very happy to see how well those programs have grown and how well attended they've become since I first started coming here. This week I served as the student rep for the matriculation committee. I'm really excited to see how Guided Pathway is being integrated here into our programs. I would like to congratulate KCOD for their many award nominations. I'm looking forward to seeing where that program goes into the future. Lastly, I attended the performance of Jazz at the Pollock, and I really like to hear all of our different faculty performing, as well as a really excellent night to showcase our professor, Dan Waddell. I would like to thank all the faculty and staff for an excellent first semester of this year, and I am hoping to return to a very successful spring semester. Merry Christmas to everyone, and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Vermont. Next, we'll go to Trustee Perez. Your first report. You didn't know that was coming, did you?
I
I'm
haven't.
so sorry. Well, congratulations on being
Thank you.
here. Trustee Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I wanted to start it out with foundation updates. I did attend the foundation board meeting on November 28th. Great meeting and good turnout. Good work, Dr. Mosser. I also attended the juried student art reception, but I went the day after the opening. I wasn't able to go on the actual opening day. But my goodness, great art done by our students, and many thanks to all involved in making that such a success. Beautiful art exhibits there. On November 29th, I joined Trustee Yount and President Kinnaman for a meeting with Palm Springs council members and staff regarding the Palm Springs Mall, so thank you so much for that invitation. On December 3rd, I chaired the Foundation's Development Committee meeting. Excellent reports from Foundation staff on the events and areas, including business and alumni development, really making progress there, as well as reports from the chairs of our other committees. We ended up adjourning that particular meeting very quickly, and several committee members, including Dr. Mosser and myself, ran over to the foundation board member, Carol Beldine's home in Ironwood. She was very kind enough to host a Friends of the COD Library Patron and Lifetime Members Appreciation event. A beautiful home setting for an author reception with David Hamlin, who is the author of Winter in Chicago. It's a great book. And many thanks to Marge Dodge, also another foundation board member, for her work in making those arrangements. December 6th, family night. Want to congratulate Dr. Neary and Dr. Oscar Espinoza-Pata for an incredible evening in our gym last week. What a great turnout of families, even given the terrible rainy weather. But wow, it was just amazing. All of our college program tables were hosted by faculty and staff and other folks, and handing out information and talking with families, and presentations being done on these programs in other separate rooms. It was just, and again, given the weather, I was just amazed at the turnout. It was well organized, and the food provided by Mario's was just, what was needed for that cold, rainy evening. I understand from talking to Dr. Neary that somehow we're going to be able to track those families that attended to see if they can actually follow through by actually registering their students, or students registering with COD. But by the looks of that event's outcome, I know that we're going to see this event again. So many thanks to all for such a successful night. I also attended yesterday 2 ceremonies, the Registered Nursing Pinning Ceremony at the McCallum and the Public Safety Academy graduation ceremony, also at the McCallum. both outstanding events, and congratulations to all of the graduates. Finally, as the representative of my 4th district, 85,000 residents, including the cities of Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, and Indian Wells, I would like to formally welcome Ruben Perez to the elected office of trustee for College of the Desert. And for myself, running unopposed, I am privileged to be appointed for a 2nd term and will continue to work hard for my district and for the Coachella Valley communities. Thank you so much, and wishing everybody the happiest of holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you very much. And now we'll move on to Trustee Sanchez Fulton, please.
Yes, on behalf of District 2, serving the cities of Desert Hot Springs, Sky Valley, Desert Center, parts of Indio, parts of Coachella Valley, and Desert Center, we want to welcome you and congratulate you on your new position. And also want to congratulate Aurora Wilson to be continuing and looking forward to seeing the great things that both of you will be doing for the Desert Community College and for our communities out there. It's been a busy month. As well as with trustee, I attended the jury art opening reception. It was the most beautiful reception, I think. It was just amazing to see the artists, the community being involved here at the college, and the musical talent that we have here in the Coachella Valley. It was such a great reception there. Well attended, and I really enjoy all the faculty that bring their students. I saw a lot of classes coming in and coming there, and it was wonderful. It was an absolute dream come true and a pleasure to see the over 500, I don't know the count, but the amount of families on our campus. I get emotional. To see these families come to the first time to a higher educational institution, a lot of them that were the first. So it was so emotional for me to see and talk to the families, the students. They were so eager, these families of the Coachella Valley, that they came the night before. One of the moms in Spanish told me, "Isn't it today? We're so excited." So she had a little kid, and "I'm here. I want my." So it was just amazing to see a mother and her family come the day before just to attend our family night. And I really, really want to thank Dr. Neary for her work, our marketing team who advertised this. It really got to our communities, because that means a lot, because we did that in Spanish and English, and seeing the tables it was just wonderful. This was such, and I think there were more people involved, and I just want to thank you all for doing that, because it takes a village to put together such a spectacular and also enjoyable event for the people. And for my community in Desert Hot Springs, I really want to thank, because transportation, having that available for those communities in the eastern part of the valley and also in the district that I represent, it means a lot to offer them free transportation to come to this event, and food. That was wonderful to have. On December 4th, I attended the Desert Hot Springs Women's Club luncheon, where we were proud to get a thank you letter. Thank you, Dr. John Mosser. We got that card of thank you to the Women's Club out in Desert Hot Springs. We really appreciate that. And the partnership that we're raising money for scholarships to go to COD as well. On December 4th, attended the Thousand Palms Chamber mixer. It was wonderful to see and meet with my constituents out in Thousand Palms as well. So that was wonderful to also speak and give an update of what we're doing at the College of the Desert. On December 4th, I met with someone very important in our Coachella Valley, and that was the superintendent, Dr. Torres. He represents the Archdiocese of San Bernardino and Riverside County, and reaching out to him and letting him know that we have pathways to the private schools that we have in the Coachella Valley. We have Xavier High School there, and also trying to get a pathway in our middle schools and our schools at Sacred Heart, St. Teresa's, and doing a pathway. And so hopefully we have a great partnership with the private schools. It was a wonderful and informative meeting that we hope to create a partnership with the private schools here in the Coachella Valley. On December 5th, attended such an amazing athletic this scholarship athletic awards. This was the first time I've been wanting to attend this for so many years, and I got to attend that. The athletes were all awarded that award. It was so neat to see all the hard work of our cross country team, our golf team, our football team, our basketball team. This is where the students got there and got their awards. And I just really want to thank our athletic director to continue. And I see Leslie was there, and we had a lot. Oops, I'm sorry. May I just continue? Just thank you.
Without objection.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And then attended one more, the Indian Women's Club, also, where we also raised some scholarship money. It's been a busy month. And then on yesterday, we attended the Nurse Pinning and the Police Academy. I have yet to miss one of that event. I think our nurses and our police, our training programs are the best, and I hope that we continue to expand our police academy and go into the other modules. I think it was just wonderful. I really, again, want to give a shout out to all the police chiefs out there and all that came over to the College of the Desert and serve the public safety of our community. I really, it was just, we hosted, as you all know, the California Community College League Conference, where we hosted over 114 colleges, and we were the host college. We attended that, but it wouldn't be possible for all the volunteers, the student volunteers that were guiding a lot of the trustees. They were just there asking, just being so helpful. A lot of the trustees from other community colleges were telling me, wow, they're so helpful. They told us where to go. They told us where to eat. So I really want to thank our faculty and our staff that were also there, and those that organized this event. To Dr. Kinnaman, thank you for organizing that event, as well, and our staff for our California Community College League, where we were able to host and show off our Coachella Valley. Something that I just attended that is, as you all may know, I always talk about food scarcity issues and homelessness. I was able to attend the most informative homelessness, housing, and food insecurity conference that happened last Friday. I brought back a lot of information on the best practices going on in the United States. Dr. Sarah Hedrick is an author, winning author, and a national expert, a professor of higher education, of sociologist, and the book of Paying the Price, College Cost, Financial Aid, and the Betrayal of the American Dream. So talking about food and housing insecurities. The takeaway of that program was something that I think and I will be bringing that report and giving it to all the Board of Trustees, I'll be giving that to Julia, was establishing something that I think would be wonderful, that another community college does, was a scholarship for, and just call it the Community Scholarship Fund, where a student, there is an emergency, be it food insecurity, be a medical insecurity, that we have a scholarship available for housing, for something. A lot of our students, something that I learned, come to our colleges, and are tired. So that was something that I learned, that I have a full report that I want to present, and some findings that we received. But I spoke to this, I don't know who I spoke to, but having like a rest area at our college, a lot of the students, I don't know if a lot of people know, they're tired. And they come all the way out from the eastern part of the valley, or from where I live, and they just sleep on our campus. And it would be wonderful to have some type of rest area for them. That's something that I got out of this conference, learning to have a rest area, and also to establish a scholarship for emergency needs. So there was so much information given in that conference that I will be doing a report on that and handing it over to my fellow board members and seeing how we could do better for our homeless and our food scarcity issue that we have. So this ends my report. I want to wish everyone happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad for all of the Coachella Valley. Thank you and Merry Christmas to all and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Jean?
Thank you. I'll be brief so we can stay on our agenda today.
We're fine.
First of all, welcome back, Trustee Wilson, and welcome Ruben Perez. Your welcome addition. Glad to have you here. Trustee Sanchez-Fulton mentioned the conference she attended, and that reminded me of a very recent article in the Chronicle of Higher Education, quite perceptive essay that clearly argued that economic background is the most significant impact on a student's experience of college and far exceeds the effect of sexual orientation, ethnicity, and gender. So the issues of economic security are really the top item, and we should need to be addressing that and studying that more carefully. Also, as Trustee mentioned, be assured that College of the Desert was well represented at the Community College League of California and certainly made an impact there, and thank President Kenneman for all his work there. And in our agenda for this month, on the consent agenda is extensive curriculum changes. And since that is an item in the consent agenda, it may be passed over quickly. And I think all the trustees want to acknowledge and appreciate all the work of the faculty members in all of those curriculum changes. A college's curriculum is a vital living document and needs to be sustained and cared for. And I think our faculty are doing an excellent job for that. So while that may be quickly passed over, that does not indicate the extent of our appreciation for all of that work. And finally, of all the events in this past week, again, do want to mention nursing and the academy commencements or ceremonies yesterday. The nursing is always very touching and so meaningful. I appreciate being there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Jan. As I begin my report, I'd like to congratulate our newest trustee, Trustee Perez. And I don't know, he didn't give a report, but I want to say that, he attended several events prior to his being sworn in. One was the Community College League's conference. He attended their opening night ceremony, and he was able to meet with some of the other trustees, and he was also able to meet with some of the people from around the state of California at that event. And then I know that he attended the family night, and I was very happy to see him there going through things, learning a lot about the college and different disciplines and things that we have here, just like the families were. And I think that was a great opportunity. And then he was at the Public Safety Academy graduation last night. And it was great to see him again at that event and have him coming on board, ready to go, ready to work with us. And we always appreciate that. I think I mentioned last time when I was giving my report that every time we change a member, we have a whole new board. So one thing that I'm looking forward to doing is having a retreat in January, hopefully, if we can arrange that, so that we can become a team again. Because the team changes, when you play any sport, you change one person, especially that quarterback. And I figure every member of our team is quarterback here. We're all out there knowing what we need to do for our communities. We're all pro-college. We're all in favor of student success, and we want to see that happening. So we need to have the same plays ready to go. And so we need to have that retreat, an opportunity to get together. And we're also going to be sending you to a lot of trainings because people that know me know I'm in education. I've been there for 38 years at the K-12 level, and I educate and I reiterate things over and over and over, and they get sick of hearing me. So anyhow, I'll stop on that note. But welcome aboard, and we look forward to working with you. And Trustee Wilson, I want to congratulate you again for being willing to serve another 4 years and having that opportunity to do that. So thank you very much. I did mention a few things that I did. I do want to say about the Community College League Conference that we were extremely lucky. We won the Chancellor's Award again. And if I could have Dr. Kinnaman get that to come over here so that that could be part of our video that we put out there, our live stream, so that we could show that to the public this afternoon. It would be great so that they could share in that success. Also, we had a number of students performing at that, and all the comments that I received about our students that were performing were very, very positive. Also, our students were hosting and hostesses, telling people where to go. I love anybody that can tell people where to go, just like I do at school every day. So that's always great. Congratulations to KCOD, and they did wonderful at the family night. They were there. They were playing the music in the background. I don't know if everybody paid attention to that, but I sure did, because it was great having our students doing the live entertainment for that function. And that was a wonderfully attended function. I was very worried when we have rain around here because some people think they melt. But it was obvious that the community did not melt. And I'll tell you, if it hadn't rained, I don't know how many people would have been in attendance, but I'm sure it would have been so many that we would have had a problem. We had standing room only in many of the rooms as it was. And that is just phenomenal, considering this was a first-time event. The nurses pinning yesterday, I raced over here. I told my principal, I just have to go to that. His nurse was a graduate, by the way, of College of the Desert, so he never begrudges me that. It's just a matter of me being able to get out the door without kids, hanging on to me. So I raced over here. The highway patrolman didn't stop me. Thank heavens. They must have realized it was Public Safety Academy graduation later that night, because I didn't get any tickets. I shouldn't tell them that. Next time they'll be watching. But both events were absolutely fantastic. What our students go through to obtain those certificates is just incredible. And, I have my doctorate and I worked really hard on that, but what these students do in a short period of time just astounds me. And so congratulations to all of them. And before my time totally runs out, I'd like to wish everyone a very joyous holiday season. And if you haven't had an opportunity yet, there is still chocolate up there. Please take it, because I already look like Santa Claus. I don't need more patting. So moving on to Superintendent President, could you give your report, please?
Yes, I'll be very brief. Actually, I had congratulated Trustee Wilson when we learned she was running unopposed, but I haven't done that publicly, so I want to publicly congratulate you now. Again, we did have the league conference, family night, and I have no idea how those things happen. The man hours with everybody doing their jobs. I know a lot of people had wrinkles around their eyes and dark circles and things, but the staff, they somehow, they find that energy someplace and that commitment. So I thank you for that. Those are going over and beyond. It seems like every conference wants to come to Palm Springs now. So in the spring, ACCA's coming in, so we'll be hosting that conference as well. So, maybe we'll all get some rest over the holidays. Earlier, I said there were no new employees because I was going to save this one until January, but then I realized in January there's fewer people here. So we have a new executive director over our Measure B and our bond fund, or bond funds, John White, that's here, and I'm going to ask him to come up to the podium for my report to tell us about himself. John, come up.
Thank you, President Kinnaman and trustees, vice presidents. I'm very pleased to join the College of the Desert. I hail from Alumnus University of California, UC San Diego. I have experience in planning, design, and construction, actually at 3 campuses. UC San Diego, I was a founding capital planning director at UC Merced, and most recently at UC Riverside. So it's with great pleasure that and I'm also a resident of Cathedral City, where I've lived for over 4 years. And I'm very pleased to accept this position and join the team. And I look forward to everything that we're going to deliver over these next several years. It's going to be transformational in terms of space and facilities. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you would please take one of the things out of the mailbox, and there's another package there that you're welcome to have.
And I will say the team's very excited to have John. We've been working with him, and so we're looking forward
Yes.
to many years of working together. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to mention this?
Can you pick it up? It's heavy.
Let's do it right now. I got it. Okay, this is that says California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office 2018 Student Success Award, College of the Desert, Pledge with a lowercase p to Success Program. And this is the award that we won, if the public would like to see it. And I don't know if any of the trustees did not see it, but we'll pass it down.
It's heavy.
And we have the 2018 Chancellor Student Success Award program here, and it has us pledged to success. This is the this is the second Chancellor's Award that we have received. So this is really, really meaningful. The first one was great. Second one's even better. And we just like awards. So we also have that, and I think each of you were given one of these, okay? Is there any? Thank you. Thank you for bringing that right over. That was great. Thank you so much. And then, do you have anything else to say, President Kinnaman?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. That was nice. Thank you. Okay, that brings us down, board members, to the consent agenda.
We have public
Oh,
comment.
public comments.
Oh, public comments. I'm sorry. Public comments. No public comments. See? I was very smart. I knew that from before. But I have to say it anyhow. Oh, I was supposed to read this, though. Public comments. Persons who wish to speak to the board on any item may do so at this time. There's a time limit of 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic, unless further time is granted by the board. Your comments will be timed, and you will be asked to stop speaking when the timer sounds. Please understand the board welcomes your comments, but are not able to respond. And there are some papers in the back of the room to fill out if you did want to speak to the board. Seeing nobody that wishes to speak to the board, now we will move on to consent agenda. I have just enough time. All items on the consent agenda will be considered for approval by a single vote without discussion. Any board member may request that an item be pulled from the consent agenda to be discussed and considered separately in the action agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, or are there any items that a board member would like to have pulled for discussion? Seeing no board member requesting any item be pulled, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
It's been moved to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there a second?
Second?
There is a second. Discussion. We can't talk about anything individually because we pulled nothing. So, student trustee Vermont, your advisory vote, please.
Aye.
And all those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented?
Aye.
Aye.
And all opposed? The motion has carried unanimously. And at this time, it is 11:57. We have roughly 2.5 minutes prior to our recess time. If there's no objection, we'll break slightly early and go into closed session and are at working lunch for closed session. And then we will reconvene at, I have to find that. It does tell me the right time. I believe it's 1:30, is that correct? 1:30. We will reconvene at 1:30, and we will try desperately to be on time. Thank you very much. Recess. You finally got
Oh, that
it,
was
George.
good. You did send you two.
I thought that would be. Had no items pulled from the consent agenda for separate discussion and consideration.
If there is any
Oh, that's
action in closed session.
right. Let me report out, there was no action taken. We had long discussions, but no action taken. Now, action item. Items pulled from the consent agenda for separate discussion and consideration, there were none. So we'll move on to action, administrative services. And the first item we have there is the budget revisions. Do I have a motion to approve the budget revisions as presented?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the budget revisions as presented. And just so that everybody is on the same page here, we are in action agenda, administrative services section, item 1. Yes, very good, it worked out. Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the budget revisions? Seeing none, student trustee Vermont, your advisory vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion has carried unanimously. Next item, 23.02, resolution number 121418-1, authorized signatures. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 121418-1, authorized signatures as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And, we got that, right? And, is there any discussion? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote, so Dr. Kinnaman, would you, or President Kinnaman, would you please conduct a roll call?
Student trustee Vermont.
Aye.
Trustee Perez.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez Fulton.
She's out of the room at the
Trustee Yant.
Aye.
Trustee Stefan.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. And that carried unanimously. The next thing, number 24, this is an information item. President Kinnaman.
Yes, this is one of our administrative procedures that coincide with Administrative Policy 5030, and this just outlines our fees and it is brought current. And the references you'll see on the very last page of what we drew upon to bring this procedure current. And if there's any questions, I believe that our Vice President, Annabelle Neary, would be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions on that? Information item, administrative procedure, review of the fees and the instructional materials fees.
Yes.
Both, right?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing none, Next item is informational Coachella Valley Unified School District. Dr. Kinnaman?
Yes, I'm going to, sorry, I'm looking.
I'm sorry, do you want that?
I'm lost.
Here, I'll give you mine. This is the district's CCAP.
Yes, there we go. I would like to ask which one of you want to speak to this? Thank you, Mr. Baker.
As you know, we have CCAP agreements with Deserts Hands and Palm Springs, and now we are adding Coachella Valley Unified to that as well, so we bring it twice to the board.
Thank you very much. Would you like to speak to what we are, it's just the general agreement.
Yes, just a general agreement.
Okay. And it looks like we'll be able to move forward with classes over there
Absolutely.
in that venue. Have we considered any specific ones yet, or are we still in talk?
We're still working on that, but we're looking to grow that like we have with the other two.
And it will come back to us
Yes.
again later. All right, so that's another informational item. Now we'll go on to the study session, and I believe everyone has the documentation for the study sessions in front of them. They were placed on our tables while we were out. We have the Student Success Scorecard. Dr. Daniel Martinez, the Director of Instructional Research. Come on, Dan. Sounds like we're going to play a game here. And there's a little bag there for you. I'm a bag lady, what can I say? When you have a walker, you put bags on things. There's something there.
Trustee, welcome. Dr. Kinnaman, Executive Leadership, guests. Excuse me. It is my pleasure to present the California Community Colleges Scorecard for College of the Desert 2018.
Yeah. Okay. And we can turn around and look at this, can't we?
Did you want
This
to?
way.
It is the right one. I don't know if you want to do the full screen or not.
We have the right
This is
one, I
fine if
think.
you'd like.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh.
It'll be moved. There we go.
This is fine.
You sure it's-
I mean, it's the same.
Yeah, this is it. Correct?
It is correct. It's just that
You'd like to start with the title page.
it's a PDF version, which is fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh. Do you want to defer?
just because it looks prettier.
Oh, you want something?
There you go, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This presentation is required by the Education Code. We do this every year. So we come to the Board of Trustees and very happy to do so. The scorecard tracks student success at all 114 community colleges on the following topics: remediation, job preparation, completion, certain milestones, and achievement gaps. The focus of the scorecard is on transparency and accountability. Most of these measures track a group of students for 6 years before reporting an outcome. For today's report, most students started college in 2011-12, just to give you some context. The metrics look at 5-year trends for College of the Desert. We will look at comparisons with the state, with our peer colleges, and we'll also look at students who start college and need remediation versus those who don't remediation for a few of the metrics. This year, I will also include benchmarks for the State Chancellor's vision for success as it pertains to COD. The scorecard has the following metrics. Starts off with a profile of the college, including demographics and other institutional characteristics. We'll look at completion, which means a degree, the completion of a degree, a certificate, whether a student transferred or whether the student became transfer prepared. This metric and the following two metrics also divide students into two groups: those who started college needing remediation, that is an unprepared student, and those students who did not need remediation, a student who was prepared. We look at the number of students or the percentage of students who earn at least 30 units in the system within 6 years. Again, those students who are prepared and unprepared and overall. We look at students who enrolled in the first 3 primary terms, persistence. Again, students who are prepared and unprepared for college. We look at transfer level achievement. This was a new metric last year. It looks for students who completed English or math in their first year, transfer level English or math in their first year, or completed transfer level English and math in the first or second year. The cohort we're going to be looking at today started college in 2015. We look at the percent of students who start in a course below college level in math, English, and ESL, who then successfully complete a course in math, English, or ESL within 6 years. We look at students in the CTE program who achieve some level of completion over a 6-year period. And finally, we will look at skills builders. These are students who come to the college to get some training. They take a few classes, but they don't complete a degree or certificate. And start off with, that's skills builders. I'm going to start off with the college profile. The college profile has 2 parts, basically student information and institutional information. I'd like to point out a couple of things about the student information. The female population has grown by 2.5%. We're up 56.6%. The state is about 54%. Some interesting changes in the age of our students. The largest single age group is 20 to 24, but it's shrinking just a little bit. We're at about 33%, statewide about 31%. Those students who are less than 20, it has dipped over the last 5 years, but it is starting to climb back up. The state average for this group of students is 27%. The percent of students who are 25 or older has grown by 3.5%, from 30.5% to 42%, equal now to the state percentage of students 25 years or older. Regarding ethnicity, our Hispanic group has grown by 6% over the last 5 years, from 66% to 72%. The state average is 44%. All other groups are shrinking. I want to point out that our African American population has shrunk by 1% over the last 5 years. The state average is 6%. And the white population has also shrunk by 4%, from 22% to 18%. He asked me to get closer, but it feels like I'm too close already. So I apologize. This feels a little strange to me, but regarding institutional information, our FTS growth, we've grown by 27% over the last 5 years. During that same period of time, the state has grown by 19,000 FTS. CUD has grown by 1,900 FTS. That means CUD has provided 10% of the state's growth in FTS over the last 5 years. Non-credit sections have grown by almost a third, 30%, over the last 5 years. Non-credit sections have doubled over that 5 years. Our median class size has shrunk from 30 to 27. The percent of full-time faculty has decreased since over the last 5 years, but it did increase a little bit last year. It went down, it's starting to go back up. And our student counselor ratio has increased over the last 5 years, but last year it decreased from last year. So over 5 years it's grown, but last year it shrunk a little bit. And in case you're wondering, I'll talk about first generation students a little bit later, because you know that that's near and dear to me. Okay, on the metrics, we look into comparisons between other colleges I mentioned and between, for a few measures, prepared and unprepared students. Our peer colleges, the state groups all the colleges in the state into 7 groups based on 3 measures that predict the completion rate. Only the completion rate. Those 3 measures are the API scores from the high schools, a bachelor's degree attainment for the population 25 years or older, excuse me, and the percent of students at the college that are 25 years or older. Those 3 measures, just to give you some context, those 3 measures predict the completion rate of students by over 70%, just those 3 measures. Measures that are outside of the scope of what we can do. So you can see the colleges there, 27 colleges in the group. Okay, and as a reminder, most of these measures track students for 6 years. The only 2 that don't are the transfer level achievement and the skills builder group. Okay, so here we go. Here's what the completion rate. I'm going to show you how I'm going to present the information and build it, just the first couple for you so you can see what I'm talking about. First, I'll show how COD has performed over the last 5 years, and that color will be in red. And whenever I compare COD to the state of the peers, they'll always be red. Their peer group is in gold, and when I compare the colleges, they'll always be gold. And for the state, they'll be in gray, and again, they'll always be in gray. So as you can see here on the completion rate, COD is about the same as the peer group and a little bit lower than the statewide average. When I compare the groups within COD, that is overall students, and then those students are unprepared versus those students are prepared, I'll do the same kind of thing. Overall group is in red, the unprepared students in gold, and then the prepared students in gray. As you can see, students who start without needing remediation are much more likely to have a completion of some sort. Much more likely. Excuse me. Okay, so now comparing COD to peer colleges and statewide, COD being in red. This is how we compare over the last 6 years. We look at those students who are prepared versus unprepared. And even though they're unprepared students complete the 30-unit mark within 6 years at a comparable rate to those students who are prepared. For the persistence rate, the numbers are almost indistinguishable, as you can see. The state, the peers, COD, we're doing just as well. For our students who are prepared versus unprepared, again, our unprepared students do a little better than our prepared students on this measure. So those 3 measures compare the prepared and unprepared students. Here are the other measures where we compare it to peer colleges and to the state. So this is the completion of transfer level English in the first year, and COD does just as well as, it does better than our peer colleges and just as well as the state. This is completion of transfer level English in the first year. In the second year, the numbers get higher for everybody, and COD does very, very well on this particular measure, the percent of students who complete transferable English in their first or second year. This is the completion of transfer level math in the first year. We're not doing as well on this particular measure. When we look at whether they've completed transfer level math in their first or second year, the relationships stay the same, as you can see. Did I push the wrong button? Okay, we're here at the remediation rate. Oh, I see what I did. Sorry about that. This shows the percent of students who started in a course in English, was below college level English, who within 6 years completed a transfer level English class. As you can see, COD is doing as well as our peer colleges and pretty close to the state. Now, Matt, this is a pretty impressive one. COD has outperformed the state and our peer colleges in the past, but they're catching up with us. I'm reading the wrong one, going too fast. COD has grown by 12% on this particular measure. This is the measure of students who start in a math course below transfer level, who then complete a transfer level math class within 6 years. It's very impressive. We have caught up with the state average on this particular measure. As you can tell by this chart, COD being in red, it's been a little bit back and forth on this one. We used to lead the state last in 2014, 2015, but there's been some fluctuation on this particular measure. In terms of the CTE completion rate, COD has been ahead of the other groups, and the rest of them seem to be catching up to us now. So we've done quite well on this particular measure. This last measure on the skills builder shows the percent median change in wages for these students who come to the college to learn some skills and gone to work. The statewide average is 28.2% of the change, and ours is 10% higher than that. It's pretty impressive. This chart shows those disciplines with the highest change, highest percent change for the college. So in summary, COD performs the same or better than the statewide average on the transferable English year 1 and year 2, on the math remedial progression rate, and on the CTE completion rate. COD performs better than the peer group average on the transferable English rate for year 1 and 2 and the CTE completion rate. COD underperforms both of those groups regarding the transferable math for year 1 and for year 1 and 2. As I mentioned about first-generation students, you've heard me do this presentation before. I believe the state does not have the correct definition for first-generation students. Their definition are students whose parents' highest education is high school. So if a parent went even enrolled in college, then the student's no longer considered a first-generation student. They would be considered a first-generation student.
They would still be.
Yeah. Yeah, the highest level of education is a high school graduation. The traditional definition uses a bachelor's degree, saying that if the parent or guardian did not complete a bachelor's degree, then they're a first-generation student. When we use that definition, 81% of our students would be identified as first-generation students. And this is important because the first-generation status opens up doors in terms of what we can provide students in certain services. And so if we used a more traditional version, 27% more of our students could be eligible for those services. Even with the modified version of completion of an AA, 73% of our students would fit into that. And that's still almost a 20% increase over that statewide group. I'm working on a project with another community college and a couple of four-year schools to create a report, and be happy to share that once that is finished. The scorecard helps us with our planning and improvements efforts, helps us with accreditation, helps us with the institutional effectiveness partnership initiative that we're supposed to set goals for. It helps us with the U.S. College Scorecard that not a lot of people have heard, but it's part of the accreditation process. It certainly helps us with guiding pathways, and the newest thing is with the Vision for Success. We will continue to monitor and process that information. Now, regarding the Vision for Success, the State Chancellor's Office in 2017 introduced the Vision for Success, and as part of that, of the student-centered funding formula, colleges are required to establish goals that are aligned with it. Here are the goals for the Vision for Success. Goal 1, completion, an increase of at least 20%. Goal 2, transfer to UC and CSU by 35%. Unit accumulation, which is really a decrease in the number of units accumulated for a student to complete an associate's degree. The workforce is the increase of the percentage of exiting CT students who report being employed in their field of study. Want it to be at least 69%. They want us to look at all of those previous four through the lens of equity, and they want us to address regional achievement gaps and to eliminate them within 10 years. They provided a timeline to colleges, the first one being December 15, tomorrow. Colleges must certify to the Chancellor's Office that a process is underway to set measurable aligned goals. By May 31st, the district board must adopt goals and submit them to the State Chancellor's Office. In terms of what those requirements are, the colleges must adopt goals that are aligned with the system-wide goals, are measurable, and specify the timeline for the improvement. The community college board must adopt the goals at a board meeting by May 31st, including that meeting's agenda and explanation of the goals are consistent and aligned with the system-wide goals, and provide the written agenda item and summary of the action. The board must also align its comprehensive plan to the local goals and align its budget with the comprehensive plan. They recommend the following timelines. That in November and December, we review baseline data. That by December 15, we certify the goal setting has started. Review existing plans and priorities in January or so. In February and through April, set the goals, and then report the goals by May 31st. COD is well poised to address these issues. The goal starting process started last spring. When the Vision of Success first came out, we aligned that with our existing plans. Assessment and Planning Outcomes, APO, incorporated that goal into the strategic goals last spring. APO reviewed the baseline data earlier this month. We've already looked at some of the baseline data, which I'll show in just a second. And college committees will continue to work that they already do. I pushed the wrong button, Mike. There it is. Sorry about that. APL will review plans and priorities, and the End User Data Subcommittee will recommend college goals and vet college-wide. Here's what we have so far. And regarding completion, over the last 5 years, degree and certificate completion have increased by 77% for COD. So we surpassed that by a lot. That's a technical term, a lot. We've passed it by a lot. Regarding transfer, over the last 5 years, the transfers to CSU, and this is only to CSU, we have to figure out how we can get the UC data, have increased by 19%. So with CSU alone, we don't quite meet that 35% threshold, but I think that we probably will. So we'll be looking at that more closely. In terms of the unit accumulation, over the last 5 years, the number of units completed by students earning an associate degree has decreased from 82 to 78. The goal of the Vision for Success was 79, and we're at 78 already on this particular measure. And then finally, in terms of the workforce, over the last 3 years, the percent of students who reported being employed in their field of study has averaged 71%. The Chancellor's Office goal was 69%. So we think we're well poised to do that. My office will be working to provide tools to look at the equity issues as well as the regional issues, and we'll be doing that through our committees, both the end user data group and then through the various college committees. Any comments, questions, thoughts?
I have a question really for Jeff and Dr. Neri. Can you update us on how districts are differing in defining math completion? You understand what I'm getting at, yeah?
So, thank you for the question. So, many districts who are exceeding the state average have found alternative ways of addressing the college level math completion, such as Statway, such as disciplines outside of math that have college curriculum that meets the math requirement for the Cal States, like economics and business. And those colleges, and here what we do have mathematics as a discipline, and sociology has the social statistics courses. But the statistics courses can range among 4, 5, or more disciplines, and that's how they're responding to that initiative by college level completion of math in the first year.
So comparison at this point is not accurate, is it?
We're below the state average, and we're below our peer group for first and second year completion.
But with the understanding that each is defining math completion differently.
That's correct. So
Or they're meeting it
they're
differently.
meeting it differently,
Meeting
not
it differently.
defining
Yeah,
it.
define-
Definition
meeting it
is Assembly
differently.
Bill 705,
Right.
meeting it differently, the how, if you
Yeah.
will.
Which makes that comparison, in my mind, questionable. Right? Or not?
Not necessarily, because we're each held accountable to this legislated initiative of ensuring that our students achieve college-level math and English in their first year, because research and studies have shown that those remedial courses have acted as barriers or delays to students completing their education.
Okay.
Any other questions? I have one. If you go to the ESL remedial progress rate, I looked at, I don't know if you can go back to it, but that's okay. But I looked at that and I was wondering, since you're in research, if you could find out if there was something significant that occurred in 2016 maybe, why we dropped so low and why we're dropping again. Was there a change in something that maybe impacted that, maybe more students that entered with ESL problems and so our classes were more crowded, or did we have a drop in the numbers of students, or were more students employed and dropped classes, or something that impacted that to the negative
Right,
effect
I'd like
in
to,
those 2 years?
I'd like to point out that in the back of your packet is this table.
Yeah,
And the remedial rate is one of those measures that tracks students for 6 years.
Mhm.
So those numbers that have changed, so in 2009, sorry, for 2016, those students started in 2009. So, so between 2009 and 2016, there was some change that happened in there that we could probably investigate.
okay, 2009, that was recession.
And it could be, right.
So that could have been one of the things that impacted us, losing the number of students. The other one was 2018, so 2011, 2012. I'm trying to think if that's when the recession ended, and maybe students went back to work to impact that, or if there was, I don't know if there's anything else that,
Yeah, but we're happy to look into that.
yeah, but I was, because I know you like researching things, right? You just love it when I ask you to research
I
something.
do, I really
No.
do.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? This is one thing that at the Community College League's conference that I went to one session where you were able to pull up some of the scorecards as they related to the athletes. And I thought it would be something great that maybe at a future study session we could have brought in. And you could show the board members how to do that, because the public can do that and we can do that at any time we want to. And I thought it was ironic to see how much better student athletes that are dedicated to their athletic pursuits here at the college are doing in the persistence and the completion and everything. And I thought that was just a really great thing to be able to go and access. So that's something else for you to consider. I know you just love it when I come up with all these great things for you.
An issue that I learned at the community college conference was also the food insecurity and the economic insecurity that we have here in the Coachella Valley. We're not an urban institute, so that affects performances in academia. So if I'm working 2 jobs and then I'm going to school full-time, that will play a lot in my academic excellence. So I would love to see some research on those issues affecting our students. Thank you.
Okay.
We don't want much, do we?
Not much. Not much.
Okay, anything else? If not, thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, appreciate it, thank you very much.
Sorry to be such a pain today. Okay, our next study session group And did he get his little bag?
Did you get?
Did you get your little bag? Your little holiday thing there. And then our next study session group is about wraparound services. Dr. Annabelle Neary, Vice President of Student Success.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And you're going to do it from there?
Do you want me to go
She's
here?
going to get a bag, too. Carlosness isn't going to bring you the bag. You have to get your own exercise.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, Dr. Kinnaman, executives, and guests. I'm here to discuss our concept in College of the Desert's best practices of wraparound services. It comes to a point that when you look at our vision, our mission, and our strategic master plan with goal number 1 of student success, that to be a learning-centered institution, to care about student success, we have to care and focus on the entire student. And our students have complicated lives that can either push them forward or deter them from completion. And this is just an example of how we have a culture of student success that continues to push forward. So prior to arrival at College of the Desert, when we talk about wraparound services, we talk about what support do we give students before they even step on the college. To give you an example of how extensive our outreach, we have the 2017 and 2018 numbers. We offered 30 high school application workshops at local high schools. We did 18 assessment workshops conducted at local high schools, 18 financial aid workshop and presentations conducted at local high schools. We hosted 3 high school outreach days at College of the Desert, where all the local high schools, all 3 unified school districts, charter schools, home schools, and private schools released their seniors to us during the workday, and one of their high school staff members joins them with the transportation that we paid for, where we complete their matriculation processes, which include a career party, it includes a student education plan, it includes their registration date, and it includes an introduction to our instructional programs and our support services. And we participated in 20 community events. On average, our outreach to the Coachella Valley ranges over 60 to 80 events in the community, including community councils and city councils and boys and girls clubs. And as a result, we reached thousands of students prior to them arriving at the college. Now, our signature national and state recognized program is Edge and Pledge, which is a college completion program. It is our commitment to provide students an opportunity to higher education and makes a pledge to help them complete. In 2016-2017, we served 690 EDGE students, which was before the pledge announcement. By 2017 and 2018, our EDGE students grew to 1,250 students, and 1,004 of those students were pledge students. That 1,250 students represented over 60% of all incoming students. And now by 2018 and 2019, our EDGE students represented 1,598 students with 1,416 pledged students, over 80% of all incoming students. With our announced pledge program, we saw historical participation and increases from our local high school students that impacted multiple programs, including our athletics, where I'm proud to say that our soccer team and our volleyball team were 100% from the Coachella Valley and top in the state of California. Soccer team is number 2, and volleyball team is in the top as well, but all Coachella Valley residents. College of the Desert's award-winning EDGE and Pledge programs are now offered to all incoming students. And what does that mean when College of the Desert commits to your higher education and commits to your completion? That means we provide extensive wraparound services, which include a summer bridge, a first-year support, a second-year support, peer mentors, where second-year Edge and Pledge students mentor the first-year Edge and Pledge students. Student success coaching, where every incoming student is assigned a student success coach, where they get weekly social media and email alerts, regular phone calls, and constant encouragement to keep going and completing. An early alert system where we work with the instructional programs and the instructional faculty so that they can send us electronic progress reports on all our students so that we can intervene with support, whether it's academic support, whether it's counseling, early and on time to assure their success in the class. And then civic engagement. Pledge students are required to do at minimum 10 hours of community service. And as the director of Edge and Pledge, Katie Chartier, presented last time, we now, in less than 2 years, have over 6,000 hours of community services by our Pledge students. Now, our wraparound services includes a mandatory comprehensive student educational plan. This is a long history, and it's tied directly to the great work of the instructional faculty who early on decided to focus their curriculum by focusing on associate degrees that guaranteed transfer into the four-year institution, specifically the Cal States, and a commitment to offer classes as long as they were aware of what the students needed to complete an educational plan. So in 2010, with that improved curriculum, we started focusing on the student educational plan completion. In 2012, the Student Success Act legislated that all students with certain amount of time with us or certain amount of units completed should and are required to complete a student educational plan. In 2013 and 2016, we piloted one of the more innovative ideas of offering a student educational plan through workshops that became a My First Workshop or a My First Schedule workshop and a comprehensive or long-term or 2-year comprehensive workshop. But with input assessment, they realized that 1-hour appointments to complete an education plan wouldn't work, and through the workshops realized that the workshops itself was not enough to meet and require student educational plans or their maps for all students. So in 2017, one of the reasons we were recognized by the Chancellor's Office in 2018 for our second Student Success Award is the innovation of a student educational plan lab that is open during the hours of the college and the regular services, where counselors are on hand to assist students in completing their educational plan. And as a result of that, we were able to mandate student educational plans, their academic maps for all students. And unlike most community colleges in the state of California, out of 15,000, we have over 14,000 students with student educational plans. And as a result, we're probably the only community college in the state of California and one of the few nationwide, because we've been teaching many colleges how to do the work we just did, where the instructional deans and the department chairs now have access to 2 years of courses on the student educational plans and now create schedules from those student educational plans. And last but not least, in order for students to ensure that they enroll in the courses on their student educational plan, they can now register for their courses in the upcoming terms directly from their student educational plans. So, as a result of this student-driven process, the number of students completing student educational plans has increased by 782% since 2011, from 1,600 students to 14,168 students, which was considered the highest increase of student educational plans in 114 community colleges. And this is most likely directly correlated to why we exceed the Vision of Student Success goal of 79 average units for an associate degree to 78. We've exceeded that because we've been working on this all along. Additional approaches have been institutionalized to complement the Student Educational Plan Completion Program. We're one of the only 2-year colleges in the nation who offer front-end transcript evaluation. So for all those students who were lost at different colleges or university systems, they can bring their transcripts to us. We post their units so they do not repeat the same courses that they've taken at other institutions, and as a result, they can complete their degrees faster. And we found out that those students who come to us with front-end transcript evaluations, and I'm sure my director of research will correct me if I'm wrong, some of them average 40 units of completion because with front-end transcript evaluation, we help them, direct them, and get them to completion. We also opened up a few years ago, our Career and Workforce Solutions Center that offers work-study jobs, internships, externships, and work experience and dedicated career counseling. One of the most impressive statistics that was part of our Student Success Award in 2018 shows that the context for career counseling and the Career and Workforce Solutions Center went from 100 to nearly 1,500 contacts in a year and a half. And then our high school outreach day has increased from a few hundred to 400 to 700 to 800, capturing a significant amount of all the seniors graduating in the Coachella Valley. And then institutionalized, again, is our Edge and Pledge program. Now, by streamlining and using technology and creating a system where students can drive their student educational plans with the support of faculty, advisors, and counselings, we were able to focus and take care of the whole student. Counselors are hired because they have professional judgment in multiple areas, including mental health, including family therapy, including career counseling. And when we take care of the whole student, we realize that there are many insecurities that went unaddressed that we needed to address immediately. With the Career and Workforce Solutions Center, we found that if students plan their career or use career assessments before they even step foot through the door or have a resource, then it can streamline what major they would succeed in and complete at a faster rate. And then a transfer expansion. We have one of the fastest transfer expansions in California community colleges, specifically with our Latino Hispanic population. So here's how we began taking care of the whole student. Our student health and wellness reported 10,124 total student encounters in 2017 and 2018, including 1,943 nurse visits, 785 mental health service appointments, 155 immunizations. We also have partnerships with Borrego Health, Riverside County Mental Health Programs, Inland Health, Empire Health Plan, Safe House, the Deserts Harrison House, Cal State University San Bernardino social work intern to expand mental health services. So we actually started with offering a minimum of 40 hours of mental health counseling offered weekly during the terms. And I found out that the wait time for mental health services is 1 to 2 weeks, not because we can't provide the mental health, it's because we're working around the student schedule. And with our successful implementation of the Cal State University San Bernardino social work intern program, the interns from Cal State San Bernardino offer an additional 8 hours of mental health services, which has increased our mental health services to 52 hours during the primary terms. And we've also brought regularly multiple support groups dealing with suicides, veterans, and other support groups necessary as we find out what the students' needs are. In addition of mental health services, we also scaled and began addressing insecurities experienced by students. For housing insecurity, we have designated services for students experiencing homelessness, and we have a homeless student liaison. For food insecurity, we have a fine food bank distribution day here at Palm Desert, and I'm happy to announce we just signed the contracts for our fine food bank distribution at Mecca Thermal and Indio. We have 9 food pantries, including 4 at all off-site locations, including Mecca Thermal, Indio, Desert Hot Springs, and Palm Springs. And I'm happy announce that we added a 10th food pantry at the automotive technology instructional program, because we found automotive students between working and coming to their night classes at food insecurities, and we're really thankful to the instructional programs. And we are more than welcome to open more food pantries to more instructional programs if it's necessary to their students. And this spring 2019, I'm happy to announce we're launching our campus meal program. It is our way of trying to institutionalize a low-cost solution for all students in food security. So for $250, we can guarantee 40 to 60 full meals, which will feed a student on campus who's full-time 3 days a week. And we have now sent out that opportunity to our financial aid, our neediest students. So for $60 a month, they can be guaranteed a meal while they're attending full-time classes. And then we work.
What you said, 3 days a week?
If they're attending full-time 3 days a week,
Okay.
they're basically guaranteed at minimum one full hot meal. And then we've also worked with the foundation for a donation campaign. $500 will feed a full-time student for an entire academic year. And for those who just want to pay for it for a student, we worked with administrative services and the cashier's office for a $50, $100, and $250 option connected directly to their student ID card. And then, so using their student ID cards, they can get their meals, along with Ride a Sunline Bus Pass. So transportation and security, we found that one of the number 1 concerns for our students was transportation. Thanks to a partnership with Sunline Transit Agency and the Hall Pass program, we are partnering in a 3-year grant that will provide they can use their student ID to take the bus anytime during the academic year and in between their intersessions, as long as they're enrolled at College of the Desert. So irrespective if it's class, if it's errands, or just getting to work, they can use their student ID. And I'm currently working with the student body to institutionalize a solution that will provide free parking pass along with free bus lines so that we can guarantee that transportation security to all our students for the long term. Now, in a future study session, we will be providing you a story of how we close the equity gaps for Hispanic Latino students, low income and first generation college students over the last 5 years. We're one of the few majority minority institutions for 2-year colleges that closed the access gap for Hispanic Latino students, low income and first generation, that closed the persistence gap for Hispanic Latino, low income and first generation students, and we're vastly closing the equity gap for transfer, degree, and certificate of completion, which is why we were recognized nationally by Excelencia en Educación as one of the best colleges to serve Hispanic Latino students and their communities. Now, closing the gap. Even though we closed a gap for a significant number of our students, whether it's 72% Hispanic Latino or over 80% for first generation, College of the Desert and our vision of student success with the leadership of Dr. Kinnaman and the Board of Trustees means that we do not end there. We find the additional equity gaps and create wraparound services for them. So I'm happy to announce our next initiatives of focusing on the high need student populations. Last year, we found out there was an equity gap for our African American males. As a result, we created a special program called AMEND, African American Males Education Network and Development, where we provide wraparound services, dedicated counseling, dedicated tutoring, and dedicated resources for our African American male students, including a role model on the instructional side and a role model on the counseling side. We've already seen significant developments, and we would look forward to providing a study session on the impact of that special program. We also found out we had an equity gap, an access gap, if you will, for our LGBTQIA plus students. So as a result, we created a work group that proposed, and we just accepted as an institution the proposal to institutionalize a special program and a safe zone program training for LGBTQIA. I'm happy to say that our inaugural workshops went off successfully, and they were full. The response we have received is very positive, and we continue to get support. And for the first time, we offered dedicated scholarships to our LGBTQIA students. Then the next work group we just created are addressing the needs of our formerly incarcerated students. We already hosted PACT, which is a monthly regional meeting to serve our incarcerated and formerly incarcerated community members. And we also had a referral service for tattoo removal service. But we now are forming the work group to address our formerly incarcerated students to give them the access they need to complete their goals and become part of our community, successful part of our communities. And one of our most exciting initiatives were the Dreamers, our undocumented students, our DACA students. We were one of the few colleges awarded a restricted categorical that provides us a full Dream Center. And we already have counseling support, we already have wraparound services, but we're looking to get a dedicated space and dedicated staff support as a result of being one of the few colleges that was awarded a Dream Center. And unlike other community colleges in a national climate that was difficult for our undocumented students, we provided power of attorney workshops and other legal workshops in partnership with our local community members to ensure that we were doing everything we could for our local students. And lastly, I'm happy to announce that this spring, we will be publishing our student resource guide. This was considered a best practice by one of our sister California community colleges, where we provide faculty, staff, and the entire college community, along with all our students, all the free and low-cost college and community resources. And if you can see, this addresses the food insecurity, the housing insecurity, the transportation insecurity, mental health and support services, and local agencies that can provide assistance with health, dental, legal, and financial resources. And I'd like to add that our foundation actually paid for the cost and the printing of our student resource guide as a firm supporter and partner for helping us address the insecurities of our students. Thank you.
Do we have questions?
Oh, I have
from
so many
trustees?
questions.
Good, good.
As you may know, this is my dream made into fruition. So this is wonderful news, addressing these wraparound services. The question I have, are these going to be available in Spanish as well? I know we're doing wonderful, but.
So we now have a new standard for all our materials because we do materials distribution in the community for Spanish and English. Family Night and Noche de Familia is an example of that. And we have a translation button on our website that we could use. So the short answer is yes, and the Edge and Pledge outreach staff will be the ones distributing it to our community partners and members because we want the community to know that we care about the entire student, and we want to partner with all our community and social partners in order to meet the needs of the students.
So is this going to be then available in Spanish soon?
Yes.
Thank you.
In spring.
And so marketing, I'm really concerned, is this going to be going, where could someone find, can you give me an example? Are they going to be at our welfare offices, at our GAIN, at our Boys and Girls Club? Or are they going, how is the whole strategic plan of getting this to our students in our community?
So we did work with the Public Information Office to brand it, and the Edge and Outreach, when they do outreach and distribution of materials, they typically work with the Boys and Girls Club, the Health, Welfare Services, Social Services, and this time we have an agenda to work with some of the local churches in certain communities. So part of our strategy, we had a similar strategy for Family Night and Noche de Familia, which proved to be very successful. So we continue to do that, and we'll expand on that.
Anyone else have any questions?
Just a comment. That was a great presentation.
Anybody else want to say anything? I have a question. Going back, I think it was near the beginning, we were talking about the Student Success Act, SB 1456. Do you remember the number of credits or how long the student had to be here before they had to have their student educational plan in place? What the requirement was of that?
So the requirement is a student educational plan for a student who has earned 15 or more units or has been here for 3 semesters.
Okay, 3 semesters. And so we exceeded that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very pleased that you have all these suggestions for future study plans that we can refer to throughout the year, and probably we'll try to schedule some of them without even asking the board members what they, if they don't bring it up again. But I know that these are things that, when we talk about access for our students, this is number one key, that we have things in place for them and the resources available. And it ties right in with our vision. Just let me read that to the board, because I think that in future I want to start with our mission and our vision, just so that we know where our directions lie. College of the Desert will be a center of collaborations and innovations for educational enrichment, economic development, and quality of life in the Coachella Valley and surrounding communities. And I think that this, just like it says in the title, it is a wraparound service. And it shows that we are accomplishing that vision. We're getting there. We always have to work toward that. But this is just really incredible that we have gotten to this point already. And there's always more that we can do, but to get here is just outstanding. And I really want to say thank you. And to everyone that's worked on bringing this to this point. Is there any other questions, comments from anybody on the board? If none, thank you very, very much. An excellent presentation, one that we haven't had before. So thank you again. And please do get your little goodie bag. I better call it a goodie bag instead of just a bag. My boyfriend laughs at me because I always buy another bag at the store, another big bag. So moving on, we have one more study session for today. That's early childhood development. And Leslie Young, would you please come forward from the School of Health Sciences? She is our dean. And I don't know if Diana Rossman is coming up with you. Do I have 2 bags there yet for you or not? Okay, I think there's 2 bags left there. If not, I can get another one out.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Can I go back to Dr. Neary just for
Yes,
one quick question? How often are you going to be updating and reproducing these?
So the updates will be regular online and on the website. Our plan is to print twice a year for distribution.
Okay, and so when will they be distributed? At what point in time does the student get this?
So we're hoping the first distribution will be right before the start of the spring term, because we need them for the welcome tents.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another aggressive outreach calendar for the EDGE and Pledge outreach specialists.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping mid-January through early spring will be the first huge distribution.
Okay.
And I do want to say thank you to the foundation for the publication of
Yes,
this.
thank you.
Because that was their contribution. Okay. Now are the 2 fantastic
Good
young
afternoon.
ladies here ready.
You had 3 study sessions today.
Yes, this is number 3. We saved the
Oh.
best for last.
Well, it's very difficult to follow Dr. Martinez and Dr. Neri, so I'm just going to show you pictures of children, okay?
Oh, that's the way to win our hearts over, okay.
So anyway, good afternoon, Dr. Kinnaman, Chairman, Chair, Trustee. It's different up here than back there, isn't it?
It is.
I gotta get into my seat here. Trustees, and welcome, new Trustee Perez and Executive Cabinet. Thank you. We're here today to share an accomplishment with about the Child Development Center. So I'm here as Dean of Health Sciences, and one of the areas that I oversee is our Child Development Center. And this is Diane Russum, our esteemed Director of the Child Development Center, who does magic down at the center. So most of you know about our McCarthy Family Child Development and Training Center. Most of you have been down there. And Trustee Perez, I would like to invite you to come down and see our center because we're very proud of it. So just as a little reminder to all of you about our center, we are our lab school. We are a lab school, and we are the lab for our early childhood education program. We also serve the children of our students. 85% of our children at the center are children of students at COD. What's our third purpose? I forgot. Oh, we are a quality, we strive to be a quality model program for the community, which we think is really, really important. So, yeah, we're a mentor program for the state of California. Anyway, we serve 144 children and 7 classrooms. We we employ about 50 student workers every semester. We are funded by a multiple of sources. Our main funding comes from the California Department of Education, which is subsidized childcare for low-income children. We also have a McCarthy Family Scholarship Endowment that pays for students who don't meet the criteria for the contracts. We also have private pay, and we also go after a lot of grants. She's a great grant writer, Diane. So let me just, why we're here today, I just want to remind you, we are a nationally accredited program, which is only 8% of all programs in the nation. But most recently, we have received a 5-star rating from Quality Start, Riverside County. And I have some brochures, and I have our report here to share with all of you if you're interested. But this is a new program. Oh, wait, let me go here. Oh, yeah, I think I went through that. But you can look at the pictures anyway. What else did I Oh, I want to talk about the 2 main focuses of our program are dual. One is we have a very strong nutrition program. So our children, 85% of their fruits and vegetables come from our farms right here at COD. So we're pretty proud of that. We don't serve any processed food, and we have gotten awards from the state nutrition program for the food that we serve. Everything is made by scratch by our own chef. We have a commercial kitchen at the Child Development Center, and we're very proud of that. So come on down and have lunch with us. Yeah, 11:30 every day. So actually, our chef provides 350 meals a day, breakfast, snack, lunch, and dinner. We're open from 7:30 in the morning till 10 at night. We close at 3 o'clock on Friday, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. But our night program is not doing very well. We don't have a lot of students who have enrolled, and we're a little surprised by that. So if those enrollments in our evening program don't increase, we will probably change our hours back to 5:30. Or 5. We're going to give it one more semester and see how that goes. So anyway, let me talk a little bit about Quality Start. So in Riverside County, they've started a star rating program, kind of like your hotel system. So is it a 1-star hotel or a 2-star hotel? Well, it's a 5-star program, and in Riverside County, I was telling you the nutrition program. Sorry, it is Friday afternoon. I was going to also tell you about our outdoor classroom. And I want to thank Dr. Kinnaman over there. He has been such an enormous supporter of our program. We've just finished an outdoor classroom, and we are the only demonstration site in Riverside and San Bernardino for outdoor classroom. All of our staff there are trained in outdoor learning, so it's pretty amazing. Okay, so I'm going back to our STAR system. So Riverside started this Quality STAR program, and you can get up to 5 stars. And the purpose of the program is, I want to go here. The purpose of the program is twofold. The purpose of the program is to educate the public about what quality is. What is a quality childcare? And we have some brochures here about the Quality Start program because they want to help parents identify quality childcare for their children. And they also want to be a resource for programs to improve the quality of their programs. So it's 7 criteria that outlines what quality is, and they have a rubric. And that rubric, you can get up to 5 points on each of 7 criteria. And we got 32, and we're 5. So we're very proud of that. There are 498 programs that are participating in this program, and 21 programs have 5 stars. So that's 4.2% of programs that participate have 5-star rating. So we get to put this in our window, just like in a hotel or a restaurant or a 5-star service. I want to just give you our report. You can kind of follow it with me as I...
How many were in the thing, and how many were competing for 5 stars?
So far in the program, I have an email here, 492.
492.
Programs in Riverside are participating in this, and 21 have Tier 5, which is 4.2%. So the first tier, the first criteria is about observation, and the quality. Oh, I have to keep using this. To do too many things at once.
Yeah,
See, I told you, I just showed you
in the forefront, because nobody can compete with a child.
I know.
They always take.
I know. That's why I
cake.
just show you pictures of kids and we're done, right?
So keep them in the forefront. That's good.
Yeah. So we've particularly highlighted pictures of our children in our outdoor classroom. That's new. Yeah. So the first criteria is observation, and the idea here is that when you observe children, you can then be informed about how to develop your program. And so we use something called the DRDP, and it's always hard for me to remember what all these numbers mean, our letters mean, but this is Desired Results Developmental Profile. For every child who comes into our program, in the first 60 days, we do this 40-page report on every individual child, and within 6 months, we redo this. This is a developmental profile of the child which informs our program and our planning. Okay. We also do an ASQ, which is a questionnaire survey to our parents, which identifies information about the child. Okay, so we got 5 on that. Mm-hmm. The next one is health. And what I want to say about the health and child development is that we provide health screenings for all of our children. We do vision, hearing, dental screenings, and we also provide free dental work.
Yes.
Right.
Cleaning.
And cleanings, yeah, for all of our children. Wow. So, yeah, we got 5 on that.
5?
Yeah.
Like
What?
that.
Oh, yeah, this is a picture of our teddy bear clinic, so. So
yeah.
one of the other highlights of our program is that we collaborate with a lot of other programs on campus. So our nursing students actually come down to our program. They welcome our children in the morning and do a health check for every child that comes in. And then twice a year, I think they do a teddy bear clinic where they talk to children about basic health care, and they give them a teddy bear, and they bandage up the teddy bear and do all kinds of fun things. Give them injections so they're not afraid of that kind of thing.
I should bring my teddy bears over, huh?
Yes, please. So our third is teacher training and education, and this is really, oh, is that our mud pit?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a mud pit.
We have several.
We have several, yeah.
Bugs.
That's in our new outdoor classroom. It's so awesome. In fact, this picture is a woman who's a parent and then became an intern, I think, and she's now teaching.
Yes, she just graduated and she's teaching in a state-funded program.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of our student workers become interns who then, go out into the community and work, which is just a really awesome system. So teacher training is really important. So this rubric that I passed out identifies degrees and number of units that our staff have to have in order for us to meet that criteria. And we had a 5 on that one too. Next one is positive teacher-child interactions, and we actually use the class assessment. CLASS stands for Classroom Assessment Score Sheet, and this actually identifies interactions between the adults and the children in the classroom. We got a 4 on this one, but this assessment happened 1 week after the fire, and we were
a bit on edge.
We were a bit on edge, and we are 0.25 points away from a 5. We got 4.75 on that one because we think we really deserve it. Our interactions actually are pretty good. I know. Am I like a student? Like I really deserved an A. So teacher-child ratio, so there's 2 aspects to the teacher-child ratio. This is actually how many adults there are to how many children, as well as the classroom size. So for, we serve children from 12 months to 60 months, and for our 12 to 18 months, our ratio is about 3 to 1. For our 18 to 36, it's 4 to 1, I think, 4 to 1. And then for our preschoolers, it's 8 to 1. And we sometimes exceed that ratio, but then the class size issue is they're looking for a class size group no larger than 20. We actually have 24 in the classroom so that we can meet our contracts. So that's why we got a 4 on the teacher-child ratio.
That's not fair.
It isn't, but we're good because we got to meet our contracts too.
But we also try to reduce
But it is a goal of ours to reduce our class size group to 20. Right now we're at 24, which interestingly enough is the number that is required for your state preschool, and we have state preschool status, and they actually limited at 24, but the quality programming requires 20. So it's a little bit of a contradiction. Okay, environment. So the learning environment has to be safe and healthy, and we use something called ITERs and ECHRs. And ITERs and ECHRs are scales that assess the classroom in terms of the environment that the child is working in. So, oh yeah, that's our new stage. See our new stage on the left?
Music garden.
Oh, and the music garden. The Rancho Mirage Women's Club donated several $1,000s for us to buy music for our outdoor music garden. So that's now in place, and it's pretty fun. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the ICHRs and the ETRs. So the ICHRs and the ETRs are environmental rating scales that actually identify what is in the environment that the child is in. It looks at things like how many books are available, what the diversity items are that represent the children that are in the class, the health and safety issues, what kinds of blocks and how many, are there enough activities happening in the classroom for all children to be actively engaged? So we got 5 on those. And then the last one is the Director Training and Education, and that's all about Diane. And she is highly educated and highly qualified, but we only got a 4.
Work in progress.
Because she's a work in progress.
Still playing with all those toys, right?
No, she doesn't have her master's degree, which is really nice. Yet.
We have a COD alumni. That counts.
So anyway, we're very proud of our latest accomplishment. We think we have an awesome child care center. These are our youngest COD students. Our expectation is that they will be COD students when they go to college, and their parents are here now. So and we know that we make an impact, and we are just one little piece of all the positive things that are going on at this college. But we are very, very grateful to the college, to Dr. Kinnaman, and to the board for your support. This is subsidized childcare. We couldn't do it without you. But it's a nice little slice of the COD campus. So if you ever have a rough day, come on down. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you. Question.
I think I just want to make a comment. Could you mention what we're planning? Hopefully, we can have for our expansion in Indio.
Our goal is to have a child care center at every one of our campuses, and Dr. Kinnaman has at least nodded at me when I talk about that.
This is our vision too. So
Yeah.
I think having child care in our underserved communities too, like Desert Hot Springs or in the Coachella.
Yeah, India. We're working right now on a campus in India. We've been working on that for a while. I almost had a center at Mecca Thermal, but the sewerage situation prevented it. Had the money and everything, but we couldn't figure out the sewerage situation,
And
so
Desert
that
Hot
died.
Springs?
We would love to do that because it is an area of need, but
a big need.
I tried a few years ago. Tried to get a teen parent center at Desert Hot Springs High School, and we supported a grant that Ann Kalasek was when she was principal there, but we didn't get the grant. But we have classes there for child development, and we do other things. But yeah, our goal is to have a child care center in every, because we just feel it enhances the college experience. So we think it's important.
Anyone else? Oh, we have lots of questions. Let's start with the student trustee.
That's why Diane is here,
I
to
just
answer all the
told you,
questions.
it's like children. You can't compete with children. That's why you're on
I
at
know,
dance.
I
Yeah,
know.
so I apologize to everybody else. You were wonderful, but never can beat a child. So,
Are there any plans currently for the Palm Springs campus?
Sure.
We always have plans.
Like I said, our plan is to have a child care center at every campus.
you're preaching to the choir there.
But right now, our focus, very honestly, is Indio.
For number two.
Yeah. One of the main reasons is we have an very successful, very popular early childhood program in Indio, and so we need a lab school there for them to do their observations. They need their lab, right? But we also have the need in Indio is very high, as it is in other areas of the Coachella Valley. But that's our focus right now.
Is that going to be part of the campus expansion?
I hope so.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it.
Wonderful.
Actually, I'm going to ask Dr. Kinnaman to answer that question. He's been so great and supportive. He's going to nod.
She's pushing me out there on the stage.
You don't have to take it. It's okay. You can fish it right back.
We have been looking at different parcels. Yes.
I tried to buy an old church, but nobody would let me.
I think we can do better.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it was condemned, but we thought we could do something with it. We're very creative.
Is that it? Okay. And Trustee Wilson. So you're in.
Yes, in terms of the Director of Training and Education, just getting a 4. If I were the guy that would doing the grades, I'd give you a 5+. You wear so many different hats. And I don't know if all of you are aware, or Trustee Perez, that Diane is also the president of the Eastern County Child Care Consortium. And I know that keeps you so busy, and truly appreciate your leadership with that group, working to provide child care for our residents here. And also leading up the annual legislative breakfast that we have, and the conference for the families. that goes on here. So thank you so much. Again, I'd give you a 5+++++. So thank you again for all that you
Their
do.
first visit, we got a 4 and she tore it up. But we don't accept that. Diana is also a mentor director, and she works with the state of California to mentor other directors when they call her and ask for support. And she's now mentoring another director to on their outdoor classroom environment. So she's in the Coachella Valley, yeah. She's very valuable here for us.
Anyone else?
I'd like to add something, if I may.
Yes.
On that side. So Dean Young and Director Russell, they're very modest because they really do a phenomenal job. And not only are they supporting our students in accessing and moving through the institution because we provide this incredible service for our community, but they're preparing young people for the future as well, right, through these centers. I was looking at an article on EdSource, and this is from just a few years back, but I was just looking at this, and they mentioned the Riverside County stats, but I was looking at a few others, like in Los Angeles County, 0 of 82 sites received a 5-tier rating. In Contra Costa County, only 2 of 36 sites. And in Fresno County, only 3 of 52, so it's not an easy thing to do. And so it just is, it's a true reflection of that we are providing the highest of quality of service to our communities. And it's really a credit to their leadership. And I just wanted to emphasize that because that often gets, we are very good at, I've learned about instruction in my time back. We're great output, we don't do a lot of shout-put, which means we don't, we need to tell our story more. And they just do an amazing job.
That's great. And I want to thank you, and I hope you'll come back and do a study session on how we take our students overseas to develop centers elsewhere, because I remember attending that 2 years ago, I think it was, at one of the Flex Days in the fall. And
You
that
mean
was,
our students that we took to Costa Rica?
yes.
Oh, yeah. We
yeah.
want to continue that
Because,
program.
I mean, what they shared was incredible, and I think of the other trustees, if they haven't seen that,
Vice President
they would
Ramont is
just love
listening. I
that.
know. We're looking for a
They would
little
just
money. We
love
just need
that.
some money. We'll do it.
He's ignoring us
Yeah.
now.
He's ignoring
But
us.
it
He's
was
like,
absolutely wonderful. So.
The outcome of that is that those students who went are doing an amazing work here in Coachella Valley with pop-up playgrounds,
Right.
and they meet on a regular basis to process the information and the things that they learned in Costa Rica and how they can implement what they learned in our local child care center. So thank you for that.
Yes, that's
Yeah, it was
another
awesome.
program. And I think that if the county or whoever evaluated you had seen, what we have done with that as well, that it would have just been put us over the top. We would have had a 6.
Well, actually,
I know there is no 6, but I think we would have gotten it.
that actually is part of our early childhood education program, not directly related to our the center.
Yeah.
But thank
But
you.
those students do come back and they
Oh, yeah.
they
Oh,
work in
yeah.
our center.
They
So
do.
that alone just would have just catapulted us. Anybody else have anything else to?
I'm just getting rolling here, so you got any questions?
Yeah, and I mean, they could have
I'm
brought the
excited now.
children and really showed you, the happy faces there. So, but that's an excellent program. We thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much for coming and being our last presenter for today. And be sure and take the bags, the little goodie bags. They're not going to go home. Future agenda items. We'll start with Student Trustee Ramont. Do you have any future agenda items you would like to see?
Not at this time.
Okay. And our new trustee, I won't say that every time. I'll just end today with saying it one more time. Trustee Perez.
I'd like to see the Coachella Library on the agenda.
On the agenda?
Yeah.
All right. And Trustee Wilson.
I'd like to see a presentation and update on our public safety
Public Safety
department
Academy.
and what we're doing, and also on our, it was talked a little bit about today, but it's been up and going for a little while now, our Career and Workforce Solutions Center, to see how they're doing.
We are getting these down, right? Oh, thank you so much, because I forgot to take notes. And Trustee Sanchez Fulton.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank you for putting this agenda item of our whole person. I've been asking for this for such a long while. I didn't expect to get such a great gift for Christmas. Of seeing all of this. something I'd like to see is how we could do an institutional program, like a policy in our syllabi, stating something of any student who faces challenges securing their food or housing and believes this affects their performance in our college is urged to contact the dean of students for support. Something in that level of putting it in our website or something. So putting it in our syllabi saying if you have any concerns, just as a generalist saying any student who faces these challenges, please, we're here to help you on that. I think it'd be a wonderful thing to have in our syllabi. That's something that I learned from our conference on housing and food insecurity, that best practices that is going on in other institutions. So I'd like a monthly update on what's going on in our food insecurities, our homelessness updates, and as always, our one of our projects that we're working with the incarcerated population of that. Thank you so much.
Trustee Young? Okay, I'd like to take one moment of privilege if I could have the president come in, open your package, please take out what I gave you, because there's a reason why I gave everybody what I gave you. And if I could have you do that and have the trustees take out what I gave you and have our executive members take out what I gave you, and I'll try to give you a brief synopsis of why I gave you what I gave you. And I believe there's something different, maybe, I don't know.
Mine is in the office.
Oh, well, trustees, if you will pull that out. I gave you all a little Roadrunner candle. Our Roadrunner is our mascot. The reason I gave you a candle is because we create that vision, that mission, where what we want the college to be. We then hire our president of our college, and he has in his bag, just so that he doesn't have to unwrap it, since he doesn't have it here, is he has a giant Roadrunner candle. And his job is to get those people, he employs them. He is our only employee. I reiterate that for our board members a lot, and I just want you to know, he is our only employee. We give him direction. He then directs the people underneath him. That we acknowledge their employment by voting
So when
on
they're
them.
upset with me, I can say it's because of you. And I'm teasing.
Yeah, right. But he directs them. And then they go out and they direct the rest of the campus. And you guys have, what do you have? Little kind of Roadrunner. They look like marionettes because their legs move. No, our vice presidents, our VPs. See, and I apologize that it says Pace in Arizona. It's the only place I could find them, and that's the only thing it said on them that, I didn't like. But that's okay. We'll use it. But they're little marionettes. And you guys kind of pull the strings for the rest of the campus. And then if someone out there has one of the other little bags that has something in it, yeah, you can pull out your candle. It has a little sparkle.
Hey, parliamentarian.
But it's
Where's your
bigger.
cards at?
I think you have one. Thank you, Leslie. And it's a star, and it has a gold base. And when you first turn it on, it's a 5. Yes, it has 5 points. And it's a star because the people on the campus are the ones that have to light up our students. And it starts out with a red, because they start out, everyone that comes here is a Roadrunner. And then they go out into the community and it flashes other colors. So they spread that light throughout the community. And just to say, happy holidays to everyone, however you celebrate it, whatever you do, may you be blessed and may you find peace and happiness. And if there is no more business on our agenda and there's no objections to adjourning this meeting, we are now adjourned at 3:32. Thank you so much for the time.